Then he cartwheeled around the room and slow danced with a cleaning lady. He was a one-man party. You know I'm talking about my friend Chris Farley.
Adam Sandler recalls the first time he met his friend in his 2019 dedication song, Farley, on Saturday Night Live to the type of man he once knew. Christopher Crosby Farley was an American comedian and actor born on February 15, 1964 in Madison, Wisconsin. Destined to be a comedian, Farley was known as an athletic class clown who pulled many skeptical dares with his friends back in school, later to bring his skills to study drama at Marquette University. After college, Farley moved to Chicago and auditioned to be part of the famous Second City cast. After not making it, he auditioned for another comedy cast, Improv Olympic, on probationary term. But Second City accepted Farley into their cast after auditioning for the second time. He was known for captivating his audiences with stunts by bringing light to his weight problem. Farley had a vast appetite throughout his life. He coped with his weight through comedy by saying, "When fatty falls down, everyone is happy."
We're gonna show this world a thing or two. We're gonna show.
One of his most famous skits from NBC's Saturday Night Live, Matt Foley, motivational speaker, came out of Second City.
Well, Lottie Frickin da!
The sketch was written by Bob Odenkirk with inspiration from Farley's father, Tom Farley Sr., and high school football coach Joel Maturi.
I am 35 years old, I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
Chicago's Second City is known to start the careers of many young comics before becoming a cast member on Saturday Night Live. One SNL and Second City alumni Farley idolized was the late John Belushi. Farley wanted to become exactly like his hero. With his experience performing comedy on stage, talent scouts knew Farley was ready to make his dreams come true by moving to New York City and star on live television. Farley premiered as a cast member on Saturday Night Live from 1990 to 1996 alongside Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Rock, and Rob Schneider, who would become successful and known as the Bad Boys of SNL. 2 years later, Farley got promoted from junior to a repertory player. Joined and written by other cast members, the late comedian's skits became some of the most famous sketches in SNL history, such as The Gap Girls, Bill Swirsky's Superfans, and The Chris Farley Show, where he would ask unnecessary questions in an anxious tone to celebrity guests including Sir Paul McCartney.
Remember when you were with the Beatles? Yeah, sure. That was awesome.
Farley also brought laughs to many characters outside of the Studio AH stage. He performed on C-SPAN addressing Congress as the 50th Speaker of the United States House of Representatives and Republican, Newt Gingrich, who very much enjoyed his impression.
All right, term limits. You know what? Forget that. I have to talk to DeLay about this one, okay?
The late actor's SNL persona brought on many starring movie roles in his name. Farley would be featured in Lorne Michaels' produced films such as Coneheads and both Wayne's World movies. He would join Spade to star as the iconic comedy duo in classic hits Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. The end of his big screen career would wrap up with him as the main character in Beverly Hills Ninja. The late SNL alumni was known as the funny and pudgy comedian anybody can have a great time with, but not a lot of people knew about his inner demons he was fighting to stay alive. His addiction to drugs and alcohol presented inappropriate behavior that could have got himself fired from the show. He was in and out of AA meetings, rehab, and weight loss centers since his fame arose in 1990. Farley also struggled with loneliness and wanted the public's approval. Tom Farley Jr., Chris's brother, talks about how lonely battling an addiction truly is.
It's such a lonely disease, and at least it was when Chris was going through it. And nowadays, places like Tara, it's so different, and there are more people coming out, and it's just not just treatment, but there's communities, and the stigma is slowly.
Other cast members saw the difficulty in his daily life. SNL writers debated whether to air the sketch Chippendales with Patrick Swayze because they knew it was based off of Farley's physique. Chevy Chase warned him that his problems would not end well, saying, "Look, you're not Belushi." Farley came back to host SNL for the first and only time 2 months before his death, where his addiction was the worst it had ever been. Observers can see how dangerous it was affecting his acting. They brought in Tim Meadows and Chris Rock just in case somebody had to step in as host last minute. Days leading up to his death, he club crawled until early in the morning. He brought escort Heidi Hauser back to her apartment, who is known as the last person to see him alive.
Slapping himself, and I kept saying, stop. Why are you doing that, I said, it's the heroin, it makes me act goofy. I couldn't do Saturday Night Live without it.
It was clear that Farley was more interested in drugs than spending time with Hauser. After a struggle of drugs, alcohol, obesity, and depression, Chris Farley died on December 18, 1997 at the age of 33. His body was discovered the next morning by his brother, John Farley. There are many speculations about what killed the young comedian. Some thought it was antidepressants, alcohol, or heart failure that finally kicked the bucket. An autopsy later revealed that a speedball of cocaine and morphine is what crossed the line. Farley's career ended in the same place it began. Prior to his death, Farley's legacy continues on by those who admire him. SNL co-star Mike Myers stepped in as a voiceover for Shrek. His film, Almost Heroes, was dedicated in his name shortly after his death, and was awarded a Hollywood Walk of Fame star on August 26, 2005. Spade, Sandler, Rock, and the rest of the Farley family accepted the award on his behalf. Today, fans continue to remember Farley's humor by rewatching his sketches, movies, and seeing how he impacted the comedy industry forever. Sandler concludes his 2019 tribute by celebrating his friend's life and career.
And if we make enough noise, maybe he'll hear us. Give it up for the great Chris Farley.